Welcome everybody. Welcome to another Community Fit, and in particular, a midweek desk stretch. I'm your host, James, here with Bob, the sleeping dog, today. Um, we are so excited to have you. We have you for 6 weeks. So that's going to take this session from this Wednesday and this Friday until about the middle of June. Oh, you're waking up, Bob. So he's on cue over here. That's That's the co-host for you. Can I get a show of hands? Maybe you can send up an emoji, a heart, a clap, a something for anyone who is brand new to this class, to midweek desk stretch. We got at least one hand raised. We've got a couple of thumbs up. Good. Okay, cool. We got some new folks. Um, Great. Okay, so a little bit about this class. We always get started with some nervous system regulation work. So the first few minutes are all about kind of calming the nervous system and getting settled in. This session is all about the spine and back, but we're going to explore it in possibly a different way than other classes you've had. So we started off, we've had like 3 blocks, right? So we had our kind of winter, early spring, and then we had spring, and now we're kind of like spring, summer block. We started off with neck, and then we moved on to shoulders and hips. And this one is all about spine. And the sequencing was on purpose. I'm sure if we did a show of hands right now, pretty much everyone in here has back issues of some sort, right? Well, the fact of the matter is that your spine is super, super, super smart. Your spine is designed and craves and wants intelligent, subtle, fluid movements. And what do we end up doing most of the time? We do a lot of sitting, we do a lot of lying down, and then we do a lot of like heavy lifting and kind of like extreme ranges of motion if we're doing workout. So this class is going to be about, for lack of better words, maybe befriending the core, befriending the center of the body, befriending what goes on between the neck and the hips, right? I encourage you, and I don't know that we have all of the videos loaded up, but we have a lot of videos. I encourage you to visit CommunityFIT's Western Health Advantages CommunityFIT YouTube site. We have a ton of videos on about releasing hips, releasing shoulders, neck stuff, so on and so forth, because most of the tension that we experience in the spine is actually coming from hips and neck. And that's why we started like what's happening here, what's happening here, and what's happening. Started with those as a continuation. So we're going to bring some of that stuff that we've covered in previous sessions into this session. Why? Because I guarantee most of your low back stuff is actually not low back. It's probably belly related and or hip related. Most of your upper back stuff is not upper back or upper spine stuff. It's probably breathing. It's probably shoulders. It's probably coming from the jaw area. So we're going to kind of incorporate some of the stuff we've done in previous classes and introduce some new ways for you to think about how to work through, befriend, and embody the core of your body, right? I want to move away from the idea of core as your stomach muscles, right? Like that's such an outdated, uh, not smart way of thinking about our bodies. Core, if we go to what it actually means essential. It is the important stuff. And I like to take a osteopathic view of that. And core, when we're looking at osteopathic or holistic ways of thinking about the body, core is nerves, core is lymph systems, core is organs, and most of that, the bulk of that is between here and here. That is what your body understands as essential, fundamental, the most important, and will tighten up and kind of shoot pain signals if it thinks it is in danger. And what is in danger? constrained, non-fluid, non-smart movement. So we're going to smarten up the movement so that your body recognizes that we're not in danger and organically, naturally begins to release some of the tension. And it all starts with some nervous system regulation. If you are interested and you find that you like the nervous system stuff, come to Friday's class. So Friday's classes are all about nervous system regulation and how our nervous system interprets change or movement in our life, right? So if you're looking for a class where we're going to do a bunch of sit-ups, we're going to do a bunch of back exercises, or we're going to do a bunch of stretches, surprise, this isn't it. If you are looking for a class that is going to make your body feel better and that you're going to learn something along the way, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Bob is going to join us, so you can do what he does too. Lay there and watch. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have a nervous system practice that you like to do, a self-regulation practice, go ahead and do that. If you've been with us for a while, which a lot of hands I can see have been, go ahead and do that. If you are brand new to nervous system regulation work, go ahead and follow me. I'm going to start with some of my favorites. So the first one is going to be a physiological sigh. A physiological sigh is a double inhale followed by a single exaggerated exhale. The first inhale is usually big. Second inhale is usually a full inhale, and then a long exaggerated exhalation. In through the nose, out through the mouth if you can. Ready? We're going to do 5 of them. So it's an inhale, inhale, exhale. If you're anything like me, got allergies going on, work through them, right? Inhale, inhale, exhale. Three more. Two more. One more. Just begin to look around your space, intaking what's in the space, almost as if you're receiving what's in the room instead of staring. This is a sensory foraging orientation exercise. And maybe you even want to objectively name the things in the room. That might sound like there's a wall, and there's art and light, and there's books, some glasses and a bookcase. And there's a camera and plants and a mirror, and a doorway and a ceiling and a fan, and a window and a dog. You're just looking around the space. Your nervous system likes to know where it's at. What is the space you're in? And then bring your hands together, get them warmed up. Take those warm hands, put them on your chest, your belly, or your throat. Just kind of feel the warmth for a moment. It's just like a grounding, warm hug. Couple more breaths. Now, you can stay here doing these practices or you can follow me. We are going to get started with some of the hip work. We're going to work from the bottom up today. Here's what I'm going to say. Today's class, I always introduce things like a library, right? So we're going to start with the easiest books or the easiest exercises to do, the ones that are probably have the biggest ROI on them, return on investment, meaning you do them, and for the most people, you're going to get some benefit out of it. It may not be exactly what you need because I'm not working with you. I'm working with all of you. So as we go forward, remember and kind of play with today and for the next week, the things that are hard for you to do and the things that feel really good to do. And if you can pull 2 or 3 or 4 exercises out of today, maybe one of them is a nervous system practice, and keep practicing them, right? I'm not with you every day. I leave it up to you to do your daily practice. I'm here to introduce you to some stuff. So I leave it up to you to pick 2 or 3 or 4 things and keep practicing. The next week, you're going to add maybe a couple of more in, and then a couple of more. And by the end of the 6 weeks, you should have a routine down of like 10 to 15 exercises that make sense to you. And so when your spine, your back, your core is bothering you, or feel like it needs a little support in some way, you have a library of options to pull from, right? Over time, all of this stuff is on our YouTube channel, but for now, maybe you want some pen and paper with you. Maybe you just want to remember them, right? Like I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I can just remember these things. That's not true for everyone. I know a lot of previous clients have like a pen and paper with them. That might be beneficial. So enough talking. I'm going to adjust this a bit because we are going to get started with some hip exercises. So I'm just going to sit on my chair and I'm just going to kind of rock right and left. All I'm doing here is kind of feeling left butt cheek, right butt cheek, left butt cheek, right butt cheek. That's the entire exercise. Look at my right side. Look at my left side. Right side, left side. Now I can keep doing that, or I can push my left foot down to go right, push my right foot down to go left. And I'm almost going to resist going, right? It's almost like I'm pushing up against something, pushing up against something. And I can feel that when I push down, there's a little bit of like left leg energy and a little bit of ab energy going on. So it's a little constriction and a constriction. Just kind of waking things up down below, feet into hips. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to rock forward towards my pubic bone in the front of my pelvis and back towards my tail. If it feels like I'm going quick on some of these, because we covered this in the last 6 weeks. So if they're not already up, they will be soon, some videos there. And these are pretty fundamental, easy exercises to kind of pick up. So I'm just rocking towards pubic bone, rocking towards tailbone, rocking pubic bone, rocking tailbone. Last 2, last 1. Then I'm going to take my left leg and kind of crisscross it over, and I'm just going to rock forward and back. Now, as we've said in previous classes, if this is too much stretch for you, you can move this leg down, you can place it up on something. For me, this works well. And I'm feeling my way into, am I equally weighted in both butt cheeks, right and left sit bone? And then do I find my pubic bone and my tailbone? Or do I kind of divert path, right? Am I doing like a movement here? And can I stay more centered as I do this? Last 2. Last 1. Then other side. Just a little bit of rocking. This is my tighter side. So I'm not judging. There's no self-critique, but I am going to be more mindful on this side that, I've got to really pay attention to, am I center or am I kind of yawing right or left unintentionally? Last 3, last 2, last 1. Then I'm going to set it down. I'm going to go here, and we're just going to let the legs kind of open and close, right? It's just like floppy, floppy legs. Floppy, floppy, floppy. Again, just revisiting some of the hip releases that we explored, some of my favorite ones that we explored in the last 6 weeks. Just kind of moving, moving, moving. Why? Because again, a lot of our low back and sacral stuff is actually coming from hips. Last 2, and last 1. Great. Move it forward here. Now, from there, imagine you've got a hula hoop, and I don't care if you actually know how to hula hoop or not. We all know what the visual is. So imagine you've got a hula hoop, and maybe you want that hula hoop, if this is your belly button, below your belly button. And I'm just seeing if I can, and again, I don't care if you know how to hula hoop. I'm just envisioning that there's a circular motion going on. Now, even if you don't have any anatomy lessons at all, you can imagine where your spine is. So imagine which of your vertebrae is that hula hoop going around right now? And you might be right, you might be wrong. That's beside the point. Can you take that hula hoop lower down the spine? And then can you take that hula hoop up the spine? Maybe now it's kind of belly button area. Maybe now it's kind of like rib area. Maybe it's even up higher. Maybe it's even up kind of around the neck, right? And then pause. Here's the reality. You just went the easy way. You went the way your body likes to rotate. Now, pick somewhere in your spine to rotate the other way. And same exercise. Can that go down the spine? So if you were doing a clockwise rotation, now you're doing a counterclockwise. Maybe it's going down the spine. Maybe it's going up the spine. Chances are you're going to find somewhere where it's kind of sticky, doesn't work as well. Maybe you need to slow it down. Maybe you need to make it smaller. Maybe you need to make it bigger. Maybe it needs to be faster. Maybe it needs to be slower. What you're actually looking for is intelligent embodied movement. Not how many reps, not how fast, not how big, not how small. What feels controlled? What feels intentional? What feels on purpose? And that's going to be a little different for everyone. And then relax. From there, we're going to rock right and left. If you've been with us for a while, specifically in Move Lab days, a couple of years ago, the exercise we're moving into is seaweed spine. So from your tailbone all the way up to your neck spine, tail spine through neck spine, imagine your spine as seaweed, and it's rocking right and it's rocking left. Maybe the movement and the inspiration is Monterey Bay kelp forest. Maybe it's like blades of wheat grass blowing in a breeze. Maybe it's again feeling the motion of right and left. Everyone has a different learning or embodiment style. It's just some subtle movement. I like to do this one in front of a mirror, right? Like, so I get to see myself on camera and I can go, oh, I'm not moving as well through this area. I tend to move a lot through this area, not a lot through here. So I'm going to place my hands where I feel like I'm not moving as well. And I'm going to see if I can just encourage a little movement through touch. It's just a little reminder of, oh, look at that. You do have movement capability here. Now, I don't care how big, I don't care how small, how fast, none of it matters. It's intelligent, purposeful movement. Why? Because the spine is smart. It's where your nervous system is housed from that brain, the cranium space, all the way down through the spinal space. So we got to honor it as being very, very, very smart joints. Doesn't need to be pushed, doesn't need to be pulled. In fact, it just needs to be kind of encouraged a little bit. Last three, last two, last one. Now take a little breather and just in your chair bounce a bit. And we're not bouncing or jiggling to jiggle the body per se. Here's what I want you to think about, right? You've got vertebra, and what's in between each vertebra? We have a disc. That disc is sort of like a little jelly cushion, right? If you want to think of like, if you went to a candy store, right, and get like a peach ring or a watermelon ring candy, sort of like that. So when we jiggle, we bounce, we have the ability to do some compression. And it doesn't need to be big, but the vast majority, even if there's some stenosis, even if there's spondylolisthesis, even if there's some pathology going on, the majority of spines appreciate rotation and some uh, jiggly compression, right? So it might just be small. It might just be like, huh, almost like you're being vibrated. It might be bigger. You may want to stand up and like really get it going. I don't care what your version of jiggle looks like, but we're just trying to get some jiggle into the spine. Maybe it's right and left. Just jiggle, 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 jiggle. And rest. Take an inventory. We just did quite a bit of movement that is big. It's gross movement. It's big movement. So take an inventory and just kind of appreciate any changes. Maybe things got better. Maybe things got worse. Maybe you learned something. Just take a moment. Now, we did a lot of hip release. If you have taken, especially like the neck stuff that we did, we talk a lot about smart and not so smart areas of the body. One of the smartest areas of your body is at the very top of your neck, base of your skull, in that muscle system back there. It's got hundreds of units per nerve, of units of nerve per like muscle fiber, in comparison to like a glute, which is a big muscle, but not very smart muscle, right? Like a lot of tissue, not a lot of nerve going into it. So that upper neck area kind of dictates or controls or influences the integrity, the movement quality of the rest of your spine. So before we go into some rotation and some like movement through space, let's wake up that area of the body. We're going to take our hands, get them warmed up, and we're going to take our warm hands and place them at the top of the neck, bottom of the skull. And while they're there, I'm just going to kind of do some very generic massage. Bob's going to get more comfy. It's hard. It's hard being Bob. I'm telling you. Just some real general movement. And then I'm going to hold, and I'm just going to do like a gentle yes nod as my fingers kind of push in, right? It's like I'm squeezing that tissue a little bit. And then I'm going to take, because we've got a very smart area of the skull in where the top and bottom jaw meet, I'm going to just take and do a little massage, which actually begins to release some of those neck muscles, specifically in the front of the throat. Oh, now he's angry. What'd you see, Bob? And then we're going to take our right hand, place it on the left-hand side of the throat. Big, heavy hand draws to middle as I twist to look in that direction. Big, heavy hand, opposite side of the throat as I twist. Big, heavy, thick hand, twist. Big, heavy, thick hand, twist. One more. And then I'm going to let my eyes gently look forward, almost softly fixated on something in front of me. And I'm going to do like a very small little nose circle, almost as if my eyes get to softly go forward and look at the periphery, while my nose draws maybe a quarter-sized circle in front of me. And can you begin to sense or feel the movement at the top of the neck, bottom of the skull? And then reverse. Now, if any of those things were difficult, my high recommendation is to stay there and work on those. If not, we're going to go into some like movement through space, and we're going to start with rotation. So I'm going to scooch back. Most people, when I say rotations, they'll just kind of like twist their bodies, right? Not, you can do that, right? Like that's an option. But if we're going to go with intelligent movement that's tying into nervous system and is embodied, we're going to do it a little bit differently. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit with feet on the ground, and I'm going to keep all the bones in my body facing forward, and I'm going to let my eyes look to the right. Once my eyes have gone as far right as they can go, they keep looking to the right, and they take my head to the right. Once my head and my eyes are as far to the right as they can go, I take my shoulders and then my ribs and then my belly. And then I kind of weight shift over to that right hip to look as far behind me. And I take a couple of breaths. When I come back, I go left butt cheek. I go ribs. Once my shoulders are aligned, my head is still twisted. My eyes are still looking to the right. My nose comes back and then my eyes, right? It's intentional, it is specific, and it is what your spine and core want, right? It's reprogramming some stuff. It is so simple, and simple is very rarely easy. It's about being mindful as you do it. Now, let's go to the left. My eyes look, my nose, it's going to pull my shoulders. I'm going top to bottom. Once I have no more to give, I can twist. I'm going to take a couple of breaths. And then I come back, hips, belly, ribs, shoulders, nose, and then eyes. Give yourself a moment of rest. That's a lot on the nervous system. One more to each side, or just take a break. Come back, and maybe you want to do a little seaweed spine here, or a little jiggle. Now, from there, scooch to the front of your chair, whatever that is, and then we're going to let the chin kind of tuck. And then the weight of your head is going to fall down into gravity. And then you're just going to allow yourself to kind of cascade forward here. On the way up, you go, my butt goes down, my low back, my ribs, and then my head, right? So I'm going down top to bottom, and I'm coming up bottom to top. Top. And then coming up from the bottom to the top. One more. From the top. Little movement, little jiggle, hula hoop, whatever feels good for the spine. Now would be a good time to take an inventory. We did a number of movements. Pick one or two that were hard to do. Pick one or two that just felt really good to do. Maybe 3 to 5 exercises in total that you're going to commit to practicing for the next week. Throughout the remainder of the weeks, the next 5 weeks, we're going to talk about how belly and gut and intestines and all of that contribute to some back stuff. We're going to talk about heart and lungs and breathing techniques we can do to release ribs and upper back. We're going to talk about all sorts of small and big movements we can do to get better acquainted from like tailbone to top of the head. I'll stick around for whatever questions you got today, but please feel free to email us, to check out those videos, to stay and ask your questions, and always join us on Friday for our Adjusting to Change Toolkit class, and here for the next several weeks as we explore more from here to here stuff. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Oh, it looks like we got some Q&A here. Could you please provide the direct link? We got that. Show side view of the hoop. It's, it's a hula hoop. It's a circular action. I am new to this Zoom. Is there a specific YouTube video for the neck release? I don't know that we have them categorized like that. I don't control that. In fact, I don't think anyone on the CommunityFIT team controls that. I think all of that's done through Western Health Advantage marketing. Yeah, no, we don't. So we have a general YouTube channel. I would imagine, and Raymond, maybe you know specifically, I would imagine we usually do them in like chunks. Last chunk of class was done, 6 weeks of classes was shoulders and hips. The 6 weeks before that would have been when we did a lot of the neck release stuff, which would have been like in the January timeframe. So like January to February of this year. Learn some good moves. You are welcome. Yep, they are listed by the date. So again, if you're looking for the neck stuff, I would imagine that they are on there. You're looking for probably January to February time frame on that. Great. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you on Friday. Bye, everyone.